Appreciate it. We love you. They deserve it.
Is it set?
Yep.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name's Amy Jade. Welcome back to the MTUG Telethon, the second annual. I am here to just kind of like fill some time, so I want to talk to you about me and myself, because some of you watching probably don't know me. Some people probably do, and I'm sorry that you know me, because I'm a lot to know. Again, my name is Amy Jade. If you've seen me around the city, you've probably seen me working at a couple of the coffee shops. I've worked at Mokabee's and Shameless Grounds. I'm going to plug Shameless Grounds because it's a lovely place. Come in. We do events all throughout the month. It's a really cool coffee shop. Come see me. Let me make you some food. Let me make you a coffee. It's a great time. Also, I am a stand-up comedian. I do a couple shows. There is one kind of recurring show that I typically try to sign up for, and it's called That Queer Comedy Night, or That Queer Comedy Stand-Up. And it is put on by Tree Sanchez. Tree Sanchez is a hilarious comedian. Definitely check them out whenever you get the opportunity. If you see them on like a show ticket, definitely go. Sometimes I do drag, sometimes I do burlesque, but I've started doing this thing called furlesque, which is a version of burlesque that I do dressed as an animal. I will be performing in the upcoming Club Weirdo show put on by some phenomenal people, Tiki Vante, Moxie, and oh my God, I'm blanking on their name. Lugnut, my dear friend Lugnut. I actually love Lugnut. They put on this show called the Club Weirdo Show. The upcoming theme is blue. That will be next week on Wednesday at the Crack Fox. Woo, that's some light. Let there be light, said someone famous once. But yeah, if you would like to come and see me perform, stand up or burlesque or whatever I'm going to call it, definitely hit me up. You can find me on Facebook, Amy Jade, AMIE JADE, or you can find me on Twitter at @TheJadedAmy. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram on the same handle. Follow me on social media. You know, I'm fun. I make jokes. You might enjoy it. You might not. That's fine. Yeah, and so thank you so much for tuning in tonight. It is a little bit after 8:30, so we're getting into that like fun and sensual late night television. So I put down my hair. I'm just like doing a little flippy flip action, you know, it's what we do. And I think we're gonna have some like fun conversations coming up. So please stay tuned. We're gonna be talking about some people who are sponsoring, and they're going to be matching donations soon. So definitely stay tuned for that. We're going to be talking about the bathhouses in St. Louis soon. So if you want to talk about some bathhouse stuff, come and listen. Please share the show if you can to all of your friends who you think would enjoy watching it. Come by the MTUG house. I've said it once earlier, but I'll say it again. Just come through, check it out, meet the community, meet the people there. It's a really cool community. And it's just like very genuine, very like affirming, and very warm people. I don't know where I would be without the great people at MTUG. God, they just really have changed so many lives, and really impacted our community in just like a very deep and meaningful way. I'm currently in here watching Ji Woo paint, and I think you guys are going to be excited to see the first little sneak peek of the developing process. We've been having a fun time talking about animals and fursonas. My fursona is a hyena. What's your fursona? Are we doing this thing where like listeners or watchers, viewers, message me what your fursona is. That'll be fun. Maybe we'll do a list of some really cool ones. But yes, I had somebody earlier ask me where I got this blazer. I got this blazer from Express, I think. Yeah, it was from Express. It was in the clearance section. So, check out their clearance section sometimes. It's fun. But anyway, are we ready to throw over to the next group of people? We don't know. That's fine. But yeah, so 8:30. That's sensual late night television. So you know what that means. Let's get sensual. I could tell a story. I don't have to tell a story.
You should.
I should tell a story?
No, of course.
Oh, what story do I tell? Let me tell the story. It's a good story of the time I accidentally flirted with my dad's friend when I was 10 years old. So as a child, I love my mother. She's a great woman, Vicky. God bless her. She taught me at a very young age how to tie a knot in a cherry stem. I don't know what inspired her to teach me how to do that, but she did. And I thought it was a fun party trick that was just cute and had no implications to that. I just thought it was a cute thing. And so I was young, sitting across from my dad's friend, who was probably about 30 years my senior. And I looked him dead in the eyes, and I was like, hey, Rod Schifferdecker, I think was his name. Do you want to watch me do this thing? And so I made direct eye contact with him. I took the cherry stem, I popped it in my mouth, I tied it in a knot a little too fast for the age I was, pulled it back out, and I was like, wasn't that cool? And yeah, so that was my experience of accidentally flirting with my dad's friend when I didn't know that was a flirty thing. Vulnerability hour, it's sensual. It's sensual late night TV. We're gonna get a little warm, a little hot under the collar. I put my hair down and, just feeling good. Oh, hello. I'm about to be a little peekaboo on this here blazer. A little peekaboob. You're not mic'd up, but you're making all the jokes, so you're much funnier than I am.
I don't have the pressure of the camera on my face.
Yes, this is true. You don't have the pressure. You'll never know this full conversation. TV, television, internet. Are we ready? I think we're ready. Without further ado, we're going to throw it over to the other room, and I'll see you there.
Hello, thank you, Jade. We're back. I just wanted to tell you all that for the next, until the end of the hour, Tito's Handmade Vodka is sponsoring us at a $1,000 matching grant for the next, what are we talking about? Till 9 o'clock. Tito's Handmade Vodka is going to match every donation, dollar for dollar, up to $1,000. This is a really good opportunity. Yes. Yes. To make your money go double. So let's do this, y'all. Thank you, Tito's Handmade Vodka, for your sponsorship. So I have a fantastic panel of guests with us now for the 8:38 hour. I'm going to let you all introduce yourselves.
My name is Matt. I work for the club, St. Louis. I'm the manager there, and I'm a him.
Okay, thank you, Matt.
Hi, my name is Jordan Braxton. I'm pronouns are she, her, and I work for St. Louis Effort AIDS as a prevention specialist.
And I'm James Lesh. I work with Jordan at St. Louis Effort for AIDS. I'm their Director of Development, and he, him, his.
You just saw me just a second ago, but I'll reintroduce myself. Let me reintroduce myself. I think that's a song. Hi, my name's Amy Jade. My pronouns are she, her, and let's get into it, y'all.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
This is like a gay version of The View, a queer version of The View. I'm here for this panel.
I'm totally here for this conversation. I've been looking forward to this conversation for a few for days and weeks, but I'm really looking forward to it. I want to talk about, first of all, St. Louis EFA. I want to talk about where you've been and where you're going and this name change that I have some feelings about. Let's talk.
Let's.
Tell us.
So as of January 1st, we're rebranding from St. Louis Effort for AIDS to Vivant Health.
Vivant Health.
Okay. Things have been moving at breakneck speed. It hasn't even been a year since we moved to our new medical clinic. Our expansion of services has been immense. We've added a medical clinic, a pharmacy, a food pantry, which recently opened that we literally cannot keep stocked. Early next year, we're adding behavioral health services, along with dental services. We also
Wow.
do prevention.
Yes.
Social services with case management. So yeah, I kind of transformed overnight. And part of that transformation is, kind of bringing our name into our next chapter, I think. We listened to a lot of our donors, a lot of our supporters, a lot of our clients, and we heard that, people didn't want to hear the word AIDS in the name anymore.
Yeah.
And from our point of view as an agency, we can keep people living undetectable with HIV, and that is our goal.
Yeah.
Someone who progresses from HIV to AIDS, we see that as a failure on our behalf. So, you don't want to put like your worst moment in your name.
Sure.
So again, listening to everyone, we came up with Vivant Health. Vive comes from the Latin root to live, and ent comes from the word prevent. So helping people live fuller, healthy lives and preventing the spread of HIV, Vivant Health.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it from you then, in that way, right? Like I feel de-escalated.
Okay. Because a lot of
you.
people didn't understand why we were taking AIDS out of our name.
I mean, I just want to hold a little bit of space because I'm hearing all those things, and I was a baby gay when it was happening. But to think about the wraparound services that are happening when it was the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence that were stopping over our brothers, mostly, houses, and taking care of them,
Yeah.
where doctors wouldn't
Right.
touch us,
Right.
and we have wraparound services. Like, that's a moment.
Well, for me, it's wonderful because I was one of the queens that helped raise the money to start EFA.
Ah,
So
God.
just think, 30-some years ago, it started as just this little grassroots nonprofit to grow what it is today. And I'm so lucky and so honored to work there. And I work in prevention, and we go out and we do outreach and education. I do presentations to schools, churches. Anyone who will listen to me, I will come and do a presentation. Because, your sexual health is just important as your regular health. In the sex positive world that we live in, you can have sex with condoms, without condoms, but have sex because sex is awesome. But we want to make sure that your sex is healthy and protective and you get to live your fullest life, because we just had a person living with HIV turn 100. So now we can say you can live with HIV and be 100.
That's goddamn beautiful. Oh,
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Yes. So that's one of the things that we tell people, because it's not the death sentence that it used to be
Yeah,
years ago.
I mean, EFA used to
Now.
have a funeral fund, and we don't have one anymore because there isn't a need. We can keep people living full, long, healthy lives, and that's a beautiful place to be in.
Because treatment is prevention. Just as long as you keep your doctor's appointment, you keep on your meds, we want to make sure that you reach your viral load down. We have viral load suppression, because when we have viral load suppression and you have a healthy C4, then that means you are undetectable. There's a campaign out there now called U=U, stands for undetectable, untransmittable. So that is one of the things out there, and the way we're getting there is by PrEP.
Yeah, that's my next question.
Oh,
This
okay.
prep, this prep. Tell us.
We're
What is
all,
the prep?
we're all getting prepped up.
Do it.
That's
Yes,
right.
we're all getting prepped up, and PrEP stands for, you think I would learn?
Pre-exposure
Prophylaxis. Prophylaxis. So it's a pill that you take
say it slow.
once a day. It stops the transmission of HIV. We kind of say it's the birth control of HIV because you have to take it every single day. And so then what it does, like I said, it stops the transmission of HIV. However, it does not block the transmission of STIs. What STIs, people are like, what are STIs? A sexually transmitted infection, because before you have the disease, you have an infection.
Okay.
So that's now we change language, because you all know language is ever evolving. So that's why we call it STIs now. And what I do, and the new things I started doing, I do STI treatment coordination. So if you happen to come and you have gonorrhea, chlamydia, syphilis, trait, then
I'll grab that.
grab that. I can get you into treatment, and it's my job to make sure that your treatment goes well.
And so any people of any gender should think
yes.
about
Yeah,
taking PrEP,
absolutely.
right?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Like PrEP, of course, I do a lot of counseling, I do a lot of talking and outreach.
Totally.
And PrEP, they think PrEP's only for the gays. I'm like, no, it's not for, let me tell you, if you are a heterosexual male out there, well, I almost said hoeing out. If you're out there, if out there being sexually active,
Yeah.
and you don't like to wear condoms, PrEP is for you. If you happen to be a gay male in your bottom, PrEP is for you.
Yeah.
PrEP is for everyone.
Women should also take
Yes,
PrEP.
women should
Yeah.
also take, trans women should take PrEP. It does not affect your hormones. That's been a big myth out there. Because people think that, oh, if I'm trans, I'm on hormones, it'll affect my hormones. No, it will not. No, it will not affect your hormones. There's been plenty of studies in that. And so what we're doing at Vivid Health, we are trying to become the leaders in trans health because we have some wonderful programs. I sit on, not on the planning council, but I sit on one of the committees. And this year we have, coming up in 2020, we're going to have programs that are specifically geared toward helping those marginalized communities such as trans women of color, intersex people of color, and GNC people of color. So we'll have, if you're positive, you can come and get all these wonderful programs such as rental assistance, you can get utility bill assistance, you can see doctors, you can come now to
Our
Vivid Health.
pharmacy will
Our
fill your hormone
hormones
prescriptions.
Right
So if
there.
you're looking
Right
for
there.
a safe space, you know, as opposed to knocking over to Walgreens where who knows who you're going to get, we got the same pharmacists on staff day in and day out.
How
in a
many
safe
humans are
space.
you all serving?
Well,
I can speak to our medical clinic has
Okay.
seen over 1,200 patients since the start of this year. Our pharmacy, we started with 3 pharmacists. We now have 4. We've filled over 2,500 prescriptions, and that number is from September. So I'm sure it's much higher now. The demand was
It's-
immediate and intense.
just like when we started STI treatment, we started. You know, you have
I remember
something-
that day.
it was cluster F, but we got through it because
Learning curve.
it was learning curve because we didn't have any big rollout. We just said, okay, we're going to start on the Monday before Thanksgiving. It'll give us a couple of days to. That first day, I saw 13 people,
On word of mouth alone.
On word of
like
mouth
we didn't
alone.
even put it out there.
and now our STI treatment goes from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. and I have those slots filled every 30 minutes. Yes.
And important to say, we treat everyone regardless of their ability to pay. We are a community service.
Right.
Does that include PrEP?
Yes,
At
that
this point?
includes PrEP.
Mhm.
If you are financially strapped and can't afford PrEP, we can get you on a patient assistance program so your PrEP costs you $0.
That's amazing.
And let me say that your PrEP costs you $0. So I
No
encourage
excuse.
no excuse. Well, no excuse. You know, this is what I do. I go and I talk about prevention and why it's very important to take care of your sexual health.
I don't know if you had another question, but I really wanted to ask a
Do
question.
it.
Is that okay?
Yes.
I'm really curious. Like, it seems that like life with AIDS and HIV has changed dramatically since I was small and everything. I'm only 25. Like, I'm definitely a part of the new generation and things. But how do you guys how do you all still kind of walk through that world of stigma? Because growing up, there was so much stigma around it, and I imagine the stigma has not it's perpetuated. It hasn't
Sure.
slowed down. But do you all feel that with medications like PrEP and just the ability to live to 100 years old when you're HIV positive, how has that affected stigma? Is it enough? Do we need to be doing more?
I mean,
Well, stigma is people are always going to stigmatize everything.
Completely,
Sure.
100%.
Yeah.
Just no matter how you, and I hate the word normalize it, but no matter how you make it easier for people to live their lives,
Yeah.
people are still going to have stigma.
Yeah.
We just do it through a lot of education.
Yeah.
Education is the key.
and I think, this is going to sound corny, but we work with a lot of incredibly brave, emotionally intelligent people
Oh, 100%.
who, just attack that stigma fearlessly, just
Yeah.
straight on as if, it were any other normal conversation. And
Right.
I think, people read that energy if you're having that conversation without,
Totally.
shying around words and things like that. I think, it kind of almost reverses the stigma and shames the person who's
Kind of a
stigmatizing.
little. That's amazing. That's
Like
really
empowering.
amazing.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
an empowering thing.
For sure.
Sometimes the stigma is culturally too.
Oh, completely.
Because,
completely
yes,
understand
culturally, because people think, well, I'm African American, I don't need PrEP.
Yeah.
Because that's for the gay white man. I'm like, why are you here today?
Yeah.
So it's that's how you fight stigma. You just have to have one conversation with people, and you just try to let them see that, so you're over here judging people, but you're sitting in the same chair that these other people sit in.
I think one of the ways that you all have intentionally fought stigma, we'll bring that into the conversation,
Oh, hey, man.
is partnering with the Club St. Louis. Tell folks what the club is.
I think the club is, I know that the club is a private men's only sauna We're 18 and up, so we're just a private men's sauna.
A private men's sauna.
The bathhouse.
The bathhouse.
Popularly known as.
I love that, the private men's sauna. That's
That sounds so bougie.
It's more contemporary.
And then how long have you all partnered together?
We have been partnering for,
It was
I've
a
been there
while.
for about, I will have been there for 5 years in March, so I know that the first year that I started, we partnered with you guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
And
it's
EFA
been-
has been amazing.
Yes, and I test at the bathhouse.
Okay.
I'm sorry, at Club St. Louis.
Or the club.
Or the club. We'll give it its respect that it's due. I test at the club almost every Friday. And I absolutely adore going there. Because
Can we do like just a show of hands of who's all gone?
oh, that's a
Well,
I enjoy the club, what we call it, the bathhouse club.
Yeah,
culture,
yeah.
Because it is a culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's part of history.
Yeah.
Because I had to explain to some of the millennials and the baby gays of what the purpose of the bathhouse was.
Completely,
Because back in the day, here's your little 30-second history snippet from.
Welcome to the History Channel.
Is that it was a cheap way for gay men to have a hotel room for the night. You know, as you travel from city to city, you paid $8 back in the day when you just had a room with a shower, get your little nookie on the side, and you were good for the day. You know, but
Yeah.
it when hotels were $50 and $60 and you had limited funds as you traveled, you just stayed at whatever the city's bathhouse was.
Yeah.
And that's how gay men traveled across the city.
Interesting. Yeah, like I went one day because I had known it from like historical kind of things, and like I've had older gay friends of mine who have told me so much stories of like their experiences there, and so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go for it, and I was pretty young comparative to the other people there, but no, it was an amazing experience. Like it was like I was reconnecting to this kind of like queer history that I didn't get to learn about as a kid. I do think it was weird that TNT's Bones was playing on the TV, just like out in the lobby area. But
That was the weird part.
all things considered. No, it was just like a fun experience. I went with a friend and we had a lovely time. Like it is a really cool place. Like if you have the opportunity, definitely like give it a peep.
It's
like,
a rite of
It's
passage.
great.
I feel like
It is.
Yeah.
And it's very inclusive too.
Yeah.
yeah, we
Yes.
try
Yeah,
to be
what-
super inclusive.
Talk about that.
and
Like you came to MTUG. You came to
Yes.
us a little over a year ago.
A little over a year ago, I had a what we call an annual managers meeting where all the bathhouses across the country came together, and one of the topics was trans and how do we approach that because we're men only.
Yeah.
So how do we include the trans, community into our culture? And I reached out to Sarah, and we were able to start a conversation that has been growing and continuing ever
It's
since.
been great to the point of us coming over as a group and
As a group
enjoying
and
the club
hanging
and
out.
having a really good time
Yeah.
in a masculine, affirming environment with trans masculine folks, and it's really fun and affirming and lovely. Yeah.
And even when I test there, well, Matt was gracious enough to allow me to come test there because women are allowed.
Right.
So I go there and, well, I hang out afterwards
Yeah,
because
yeah.
a lot of my friends go there, and I'm like, at first when I talked to Matt about it, I'm like, if you know how we can be sometimes, men like, this is a man's only club, and
Yeah, yeah.
what's she doing here? She's a woman now, and I'd be like, I remember when. When I saw your room 102.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
so, but no, everyone's been so warming and accepting, and people, like, when I test there, they don't even come in to test, they just sit down and we have conversations.
I was going to say there's an education component
There's
to
an
it, just
education.
being accessible.
Right, being accessible, and we just sit down and we have conversations.
Yeah.
And they go on for 10 to 15 minutes, and then they say, thank you very much, and they just go on about their merry ways. But that's one of the things I love about the club. It's not, people have this misconception that it's just like sex and sex and
No,
sex.
I talked to somebody about interior decorating in the sauna. He was a very naked older man. We talked about interior decorating. It was
Right.
lovely.
It was, yeah.
That could be the gayest thing I've heard. Interior decorating
Yeah.
combo.
Because there was also a couple that was making out right across from me. But like that's besides the point.
Right. And sometimes we have to have those
That's
teachable
really
moments
good ideas for
when,
paint swapes.
when People come to the bathhouse and they don't. I remember a gentleman, a young kid. He was 19. He's from Union, Missouri, and he had never heard of HIV.
Oh Lord.
And I was like, at first I thought he was kidding. He says, what is HIV? And I had explained it to him. So it's those kind of moments that happen at the bathhouse.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of education, it's a lot of prevention, it's a lot of talking, it's a lot of fun. I have a great time.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I hang out afterwards, we sit on the sofas outside and we just talk and watch TV, and sometimes there are things playing, you're like, well, look at Don Lemon up there talking about CNN News. What is going on in the world out here? But it's just so much fun.
I'm so glad you feel that way.
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
It's
amazing
definitely-
that you give us a space to be there.
And we're so glad that you guys do all the testing that you have done over the years, and we're extremely grateful for sure. And to be able to be here and have a conversation with you, Sarah, and the trans community is just incredible. I think there's a huge, the clubs have always been the first to, do certain things. We were the first to really market ourselves or even advertise ourselves as a gay bathhouse.
Yeah.
Where a lot of other bathhouses wasn't able to do that and wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
We were often the first bathhouses to, address HIV and AIDS and really kind of tackle that and promote safe sex practices and educate our members,
Yeah.
about safe sex practices and everything like that.
Yeah.
So I feel like we're all like, yay, bathhouse,
Exactly,
yay,
exactly.
but I don't get that in general. I feel like there is this, is it shame?
Stigma.
Is it stigma? Right, what is
I
it?
think that's our shared bond, right?
Right.
Is that we're both
There's-
battling
Right.
this stigma.
Yeah.
Oh, completely. And
Yeah.
there, as long as I've been around, I'm born and raised here, and I started going to the Club St. Louis when I was 18. And there's always a stigma associated with going to the bathhouse. So I'm all too familiar with the stigma that's associated with coming to the bathhouse because of just the environment that it is. And we try to create a fun, relaxed environment where you really can genuinely be yourself. And like I said, we've always tried to be the first to do certain things, and I think it's important to include the community as much as we can.
And I think, I just want to acknowledge the fact that by having us there to do testing and education, it speaks about how much you care about the people who come through your door, and you're not just
Absolutely.
operating a business, but you're
No.
functioning for the community.
We have partnered with so many different organizations, and we really try to give back to the community. Our founder, who's now deceased unfortunately, but he's always been a proponent of just the community and everything, and in fact was one of the founding members that contributed to the building of the Human Rights Campaign building in Washington, D.C.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
So that was back in 2000. So, we have a rich history where we really do care about the community.
That's amazing.
That's wonderful.
Did not know that.
Well, this has been interesting conversation. Do you have any more questions, Amy?
I mean, I could go into something like, I'm curious about the way that the bathhouse kind of represents, like, let's be real, it represents like an aspect of hookup culture to a degree, and this like kind of older form of hookup culture. And I feel like a lot of times people are talking about hookup culture again today, like it's kind of made a resurgence to a degree with like dating apps and that kind of a thing. Like, can we talk about like the importance of like a physical location for
absolutely.
for that to take place as opposed to it almost only existing online?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, because we are a private men's only health club, and membership is required, and you have to be 18 and up because of
Totally.
we do have, just 18 and up, and
Completely.
it's great. And, for me, and I think for a lot of our members and anyone who wants to come to the club, I think they feel like it's a safe environment to meet somebody.
Yeah.
If you're on Grindr or if you're on Scruff, you don't know you really don't know who is on the other line.
And there's something just like warm and human about this like very physical like interaction and seeing somebody in real
Absolutely.
life as opposed to like through this kind of cold, like
Yeah, like discarding through a
yeah,
swipe.
Yeah.
Right.
It seems a lot more like meaningful, I guess.
And you can't be
Oh yeah,
catfished.
absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah, you know what you're getting.
There's your new ad campaign right there.
You can't be catfished at the club.
I love that.
I want your payment if you start using it.
Right.
Goodness. No, I know people are always talking about hookup culture, and I see a lot of people my age that are like exploring. I guess exploring that and reintroducing themselves to like a culture that seemed like it kind of like didn't exist for a time frame. I felt like right when marriage equality kind of hit, there was like this assumption that gay life needs to be you, your husband, white picket fence, 2.5
Yeah.
children, and a
It's
dog.
not supposed to. That's
Yeah, I have cats and I live alone.
But no, I think one of the things that I try to do is I kind of feel sorry for the millennials or the people that always want to poo-poo the bathhouse because it's history.
Totally.
And I'm always one trying to get a group of young gay men to come. Let's go take a tour of the bathhouse so you can see what
You
it's
are
like.
giving out day passes for Christmas.
Not all.
That's not a
Beautiful
joke.
stocking stuffer.
Seriously, I'm giving out day passes as stocking stuffers
Love
because
that.
I want people to come and
Stuff your
experience-
stocking and then stuff your stocking.
Right, because it's not like I said, it's history.
Yeah.
It's a place where you can meet people. Sometimes there's people sitting on the sofas in the TV area just talking and chatting and having a good time. Especially in the summer by the pool. Let me tell you about the pool in the summertime.
Allora, che carino.
Yes, and I've performed there. They've had drag shows at the bathhouse. So it's not just sex. It's a community. It's like a community center without clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a great time working out at the little workout room in there. I pumped
Perfect.
some iron and I was feeling real good.
I'll just pause as far as transmasculine folks, though. So
Yes.
I have went a number of
How was that?
times.
Yes.
I went on a tour initially. I've brought some friends, and it has been overwhelmingly positive. And there is still an element of emotional labor
100%.
that has to be conversational in the hot tub because folks are looking at your body.
Yeah.
And they have questions. And so I just want to encourage transmasculine folks who feel confident and comfortable in their own skin to go because it really is very affirming in a masculine way and there is still some emotional labor that has to have the conversations. But it's exciting to be to be invited into that locker room. Intentionally invited into the locker room.
And
it was really, really affirming.
I mean, my experience also was like going as somebody trans into the bathhouse, and this is a trans feminine body 100%, and it wasn't an issue for me to get in. I don't know if that's an issue, and now I'm going to be banned, but
Probably, Amy.
yeah,
Not for
probably.
that.
I done messed up, y'all. But no, it was like one of those kind of things where it was like, we can talk about it if you want, but we don't have to because I just want to be in this sauna because it's nice.
Yeah.
Leave
there's
me alone.
a level of vulnerability at play there, right? That
Absolutely.
kind of enhances your connections.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, we do have an FTM policy that states that you just have to present yourself as a male because, it is a male-only
Totally
club.
get that. Whoops.
Just saying. Just throwing
I'm
that
pretty
out there.
butch, so I'm set.
But, it's great to just, again, to be here and just have a conversation.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
trans.
It is.
I'm loving all the conversation. I'm loving the work that everybody here is doing.
love it.
But since there's still more work, because one of my goals is to make sure that our trans siblings get tested.
Yes.
Because it's so important.
It's important.
And if you're looking for a place to come, EFA, Vive and Health, is the place to come. Because we have trans people that work there.
Yes, gender neutral restrooms.
We have gender neutral restrooms.
Like exclusively, not like, oh, there's our
There's
token.
one.
It's like
Yeah.
they all
Oh,
are.
that's great.
All
Great.
are.
Yep.
We have the most culturally competent staff
Okay.
that we have.
All right.
And since I've gotten there, when I started work there, I was a little apprehensive.
Oh my gosh, you made me cry that one day. You're having an all-staff meeting and just like sharing warm fuzzies. And Jordan said, "This is the first place I've worked where I felt like I could bring my whole self to work." And it was just like,
It was,
Yeah.
and everyone there is, when I don't come to work put together, the ladies at work let me know. You know how those days when the hormones are just kicking your butt and you can't get it together, and you just like have no makeup on and you slapped a wig on and you went to work. Yeah, I did that one day, and they said, you need to go to the bathroom and get yourself together and don't come out until
Girl talk.
Girl talk. And they accepted me just like that right off the bat. And Tanya Brown, who is our VP of Operations, she said, if you ever have problems, you let me know because I'm not going to tolerate that here. So it's just so this just if you're out there and you happen to know if you're HIV positive and you're not in care, please come see me. We're at 2653 Locust on the corner of Locust and Beaumont, and we can get you into care. If you need to get tested and you're afraid to go to your doctor, your primary care doctor, because sometimes when we go to doctors, you don't, get respected, or there's a lot of questions. There's no questions asked. So I'm just saying out there, if you want to get tested, if you're positive, you want to get into care, just come and see me, and we'll take care of you EFA.
All right, what about you, Matt? What kind of plug you got?
What kind of plug do you
I
want?
don't know.
Put a boom, yeah.
Okay, let's really put it out there.
You left that wide open.
Yeah, I did.
It's 9 o'clock. We're getting
Thank
saucy.
you.
It is.
The sauce keeps
It
going
is the
up.
Tito's Handmade
Yeah.
Vodka
Hour.
sponsorship hour.
Hit the sauce.
Just, I don't know, put the red carpet out for folks.
We are
Yeah.
happy to be a 24-hour men's sauna located off Jefferson between Washington and Del Mar. You can visit our website at www.theclubs.com. And if you have any questions about the club, there's a lot of facts on there that you can.
The membership cards are super cute. There's like a real buff dude. Like it's the cutest thing in the world.
It's really
I look
great.
forward to one with a trans guy on it, too.
Oh,
Well, hey, you
Let's
never
do
know.
that.
Let's
Right.
think about the future.
Yes, yes.
Need
Let's
some
think
like
about the
trans
future.
dude beefcake. Like, ooh, that would be so good.
Trans
Oh,
guy band.
all right.
Okay.
Are we ready?
We're ready.
We're ready.
Take
All right,
us.
everybody. So we're going to reset the main stage now for our next segment. So we'll toss it to a video. This is a video about the rebrand of Vivint Health that features a one Miss Jordan Braxton. Throw us the video.
Okay, 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
All right.
What do we need
We
to
gotta
do?
switch the
Y'all do your thing.
Unplug your
Hello.
soda.
Turn shit up.